Let's talk about something a bit more real. If you've been a viewer of this channel for a while, you know I've gone through phases. There's been times when I did daily videos for 9 months. I took a long ass break. Then I came back and did some more stuff. Then I took a break. And if you notice now, there's another break. And I think this is, I've talked about YouTuber burnout. I've talked about these things, and they definitely happen. I've heard, other creators talk about these things. However, for me, I think it's a little bit of an interesting difference there. For me, in high school, last year of high school, I got diagnosed with ADHD. I went to a psychiatrist. They ran me through a bunch of different things from early childhood, from current things that are happening, and I have ADHD PI, which is primarily inattentive. So this is like the old ADD. They don't actually use those terms anymore. But yeah, I'm not hyperactive, but I am inattentive, so I can't focus on one thing for a long period of time. And apparently I have some autistic traits, which we'll get to in a second. So these things, when I got diagnosed, everything made sense, right? Like from an early kid, I struggled to do one thing at a time. I was always all over the place. I was good at things, but every time the comments from the teacher would be like, he's not applying himself. Right? So I was really talented at like a lot of different things. I just never like solidified and sat and did one thing at one time. When it came to magic, this actually, when I started magic, this was actually a kind of a good thing. It was a superpower in a way. So it turns out that different disorders having comorbidity, which basically means sharing traits, is very common. And for me, I have the obsessive kind of traits from the autistic spectrum. So for me, this was a huge superpower when I started magic, and a lot of the things I've gotten good at in my life, because I become obsessed. I mean, I will spend hours and hours and hours, like 12 hours a day, thinking, doing, living that thing, right? And I'll do that, anything I do that's not that thing when I'm in an obsessive phase feels bland, feels boring. It feels like the hardest thing you've ever asked me to do, like even just doing something, easy, like, take out the rubbish. I'm just like, but I need to be doing magic right now because I'm obsessive, So that is actually a really good thing in terms of like getting good at something. When I started magic, I was 12 years old. A friend of mine showed me a trick in school, in English class, and I was like, I want to get this guy back. And then I went home and started researching card tricks, and I didn't stop for the next year and a half. I mean, all I did was magic for like a year plus during that time. I mean, I would be walking from and to the bus to go to school with cards in my hand. I would be, locked in my room for hours and hours and hours practicing, Dan and Dave stuff. I would be thinking about cards anytime I was doing anything else, like schoolwork, or I had to be at school. So that, you can understand, increased my skill very, very quickly. If you look at videos of me performing certain moves from back then, I mean, I created the infinity change, I think when I was about 15. So that was about 3 years into magic. And you can see it's actually very, very clean. I mean, I do it almost as well as I do it today. And that was purely because of those obsessive, hardcore hours and hours and hours that I spent on it. However, with this obsessive superpower that, it seems like it's an advantage, right? The problem with it is that I can't control it. So if I get obsessed about something, I can stop doing that thing and eventually the obsession will fade out, right? If I don't fuel it, that seems to help if I'm trying to avoid getting obsessed about something. However, I can't control what I get obsessed about. So in high school, I really wanted to get into medicine. And I studied and I tried my best and all this stuff, but no matter what I tried, I just couldn't get excited about it, And had I gotten obsessed about it, I mean, I wouldn't have had no issues studying and doing the, passing the exams and stuff like that. But because that wasn't the obsession at the time, good luck. All I wanted to do was magic, right? And that's good if, my magic became a career. But it's not that I've not just had magic as an obsession. You know, throughout my time, I've been obsessed about a lot of different things. You know, jiu-jitsu, squid fishing. You know, back in the day it was Rubik's cubes. You know, which should have translated really good into magic, but it didn't end up doing. You know, I don't know, video games. You know, like every other kid. I was obsessed about certain books or certain, you know, series, or, you know, I've had so many different obsessions where it's all I can think about. And I think you can all kind of relate to, you know, being super, like, binge watching something and being super obsessed about it. But for me, it lasts, sometimes it can last months, sometimes it can last, you know, even years, and it's just absolutely all consuming. And boxing, you know, that was for a few months. I was just like, just anytime even in like a waiting line, I'd be like trying to shadow box without looking like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things. And the biggest issue, and the reason why it's also a curse, is that I can't control these obsessions. So if I'm, let's say now magic is my career, and, you know, before COVID, I was performing for a living. You know, if I was in a magic obsessive stage, everything would be amazing. You know, everything would be like, I'm doing my dream job. This is amazing. I get to talk on YouTube about the thing I love to talk about. You know, it's just nothing, anything, you know, it's basically everything I could have asked for. But then, you know, 3, 4, 5 months in, my obsession might change to squid fishing. And all of a sudden, the time I'm supposed to be doing my editing or supposed to be on video, I'm absolutely just consumed by catching these goddamn squid, right? And so, like, it's almost like I sit down and I'm like, I'm trying to convey passion, and I'm trying to convey this thing that I love to do, right? And generally speaking, like, I love magic, and I love the mechanisms of being able to do, you know, create an illusion of the impossible. But it's during a time where I'm just not, I mean, it's the most it's like trying to eat cardboard, right? And squid fishing is like this all-consuming thing at the time, right? And so then clearly, like, when I have to do these things every day that I now all of a sudden hate, right? I'm just like, I have no motivation. I feel burnt out. I feel like it's a struggle. It's a grind, etc., etc., etc. And then, you know, the obsession might change from squid to something else, right? Like, and so it's like, it almost feels like I have no control over the things that I enjoy doing, and or the things that you know, it's like anytime I drop something to create, you know, a career around something I love, it feels like it falls apart, and all of a sudden I don't like it anymore, you know? And then eventually it comes back. That's the thing. So a few of these obsessions I've kept up with, right? I've made sure, even when I don't feel like doing those things, I made sure to keep on doing them. So for example, magic, even though I've taken breaks from YouTube and I've taken breaks from all the stuff, it's become a career, right? So I do end up doing it even if I don't like it, and that's fine. You know, I know I have to push myself. Jiu-jitsu, right? I'm not always in the obsessive stage of jiu-jitsu, but, you know, I know how much it helped my quality of life. I know how much confidence it's given me. So I do not want to drop that ever, you know? No matter how shit I feel when I go to training, no matter how much I don't feel like I'm progressing, all those things. So there's certain things in my life that I will maintain no matter what cost, right? But it's still during those times when I'm trying to maintain a thing that I'm not like really thrilled about, it's the biggest energy drain of all time. And yeah, I don't know if I've really talked about this on this channel, but this is something I've dealt with since forever, really. I mean, you know, I didn't really understand it. I didn't really know that this was what was happening. But, you know, the longer I'm alive, and the more I experience these phases, and the more I experience that obsessive, all-consuming thing, I start to identify it. I start to go, oh, it's one of those again. And yeah, it's, I don't know. I just wanted to come on here and kind of talk about this, because I'm sure other people are going through something similar. Even if you don't have ADHD, I'm sure you know, there's times where you feel like you're losing passion, and you feel like things aren't necessarily, you know, the way you want them to be. But, you know, we just got to keep moving. And the thing is, you know, during those obsessive stages, I want to be making videos about those things, right? But it would be very strange for me to just all of a sudden on a channel I've built on magic and reacting to magic and talking about magic and, you know, developing magic and all this stuff, all of a sudden it turns into like squid fishing for a month. And then okay, it goes back to magic after that, right? Like it's a little strange. I'm not gonna lie, you know? So I think like what I'm gonna start doing is adding, you know, making more channels and just whenever, like for things that I know I'm gonna be upkeeping, right? Like I might make a jiu-jitsu channel. I might make the mystery obsession at the moment, which I will go into the next video. I might make a channel for that, and because these are things that I know that I will continue to do on and off, regardless. Well, jiu-jitsu, you know, I don't take off days unless I'm injured, but you know, all these other things I know I want to continue doing, and so I want to have a space for those things so I can put up content when I feel that drive, I feel that mood, I feel that motivation, and you know, even though it's not related to this, you guys can still follow along and jump in and see what I'm up to and see why maybe I'm not posting on this main channel as much during those times, which I will still be posting. But you know, when I'm obsessed about magic, I could post, you know, every day, and there's nothing, you know, there's absolutely nothing that it feels like I'm not even working, right? When I lose that, even just coming up with an idea for a video or something, it becomes like this this energy drain, you know. Of course, it's satisfying and it's, you know, it's motivating when you finish a project that was hard to do. But in those obsessive stages, it feels like I'm not even trying, and things are just happening. It's amazing, you know. Yeah, well, there it is. I don't really have anything else to say. Let me know what you think about this. Have you had experience with this? Do you know someone, or perhaps you're ADHD yourself? Let me know in the comments down below what you know, what's your experience around things like this, and you know, maybe you have any questions you want to ask me. Whatever, let's just have a discussion down in the comments below. I will read every comment. So thank you so much for watching. If you think this video will be useful for any other creator or anyone else that's dealing with anything like this, you know, share it. And you know, it's good to know that other people are struggling with similar things. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.